We're here at Beauty Fashion, and we're lucky enough to be with one of the most beautiful collections of jewelry, I think, anywhere. And we're even more lucky to be behind one of the women, the president of Judith Ripka, the jewelry line we're going to be talking about, Miss Janice Winter. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for sharing some time with us.
It's our pleasure.
I was going to start off, first of all, like a little bit about your background, because I'm so happy to see a president in charge of a fashion company, which jewelry is fashion. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what your background was and what drew you to the fashion, to the jewelry part of the fashion world.
I'd be happy to. I've actually been with Judith Ripka for about 13 years. And interestingly enough, I started as a client. And that's what kind of drew me in. I had worked in the cosmetics industry for a long time, always having a flavor and a feel and a love.
That is so interesting. Do you see any connections between the two?
Absolutely. Luxury, beauty, color, all the things that women love to be around. And I worked in that industry for quite some time and then became a client of Judith's and fell in love with the jewelry, fell in love with Judith. And 13 years later, we're here to show you the results of that.
Well, we'd love to look at some of that. But, you know, one of the things I'm trying to convey during this Fashion Week is there are so many parts of fashion that are not clothing. But the language surrounding them is so similar. We're talking about texture, we're talking about color, we're talking about form, we're talking about scale. And that's exactly, whether it be makeup, whether it be jewelry, any type of accessory, what fashion is. And to get an industry expert's opinion, I think our viewers would be very grateful. So maybe if we could take a look at some of the collection, you could tell us a little bit about what sort of color trends have influenced you and how it relates to what you see happening on the runways and how these things evolve, because I mean they're magic when you see them, but I know they just don't come out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
So is there a piece that, for instance, if you could point out that you think is something that's perhaps more fashion inspired, or one that perhaps is more just a classical Judith Ripka signature sort of piece?
Well, actually, there are several of them, and I think that's one of the most unique things about what Judith does, that her love for jewelry and her eye for design come together.
Obviously.
And it's very, very exciting because she's got an extraordinary talent of putting together texture and color. And to your point about women and clothing and fashion, I think today jewelry as an accessory has become extremely important because women like to be able to create a